You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
This makes my nipples hard.
Hey there, friends. Thanks for joining us for the show today. Paul and I are here and super excited to talk about something that we've never really had the opportunity to talk about before, and that is fashion in classic adventure games specifically, and all sorts of different facets about fashion. So no, don't tune out. I swear to you, this is going to be a good episode. Stop. No, for real. It's okay. Tell them, Paul.
Okay, OMG, this is like, I wish I knew other girly acronyms. 'Cause this is IRL gonna be the best. That didn't work there. All right, I'm just gonna anger people, I think, if I keep trying to do that. So
Like, oh my God, this is gonna be like so cool.
so cool.
So cool.
Today we're doing the thing Anna said we were gonna do. And now it's time to do that. No, this is fun because it's a new idea. I mean, holy shit, you guys. This is kind of a big deal. We've been doing this for like 6 years. There's 200 episodes on a classic genre, classic as in no new innovations, and we actually have a new idea. And it's maybe not our idea, but it doesn't matter because it's either ours or Sarah's. It's all very name droppy, but the point is we're looking at character design. There's the twist, because we always end up looking at the environment or the whatever else design, but we're gonna look at the character design. And so look, come on, guys, let's pull it together, all right, all of you.
Does that mean us too?
Yeah, stop dicking around and let's really focus in on the idea here. We're gonna I put together this list of really fun questions, and we're just gonna read them and answer them to each other, to all of each other. You guys can chime in too, quietly. Please don't interrupt. All right, your turn to say stuff. I'm not doing good.
Well, I was kind of okay. So the reason that fashion's also been on our mind lately is at the Adventure Game Fanfare, which is at the end of July. There's going to be a big costume contest, and we're going to see people out there dressed up in what we've always wanted to see, a lot of our classic Sierra and LucasArts adventure game characters. So I've been recently thinking that I might want to dress up as some sort of character, but I don't know what. And I've chosen as like my piece de rigueur. What I would go for is something in the Quest for Glory world, because you've got powerful female figures, you've got heroes, and you've got sort of all levels of dress, from a lot of clothing to not a lot of clothing.
I'm interested. Never mind. That wasn't a choice for me to pick between the two of them.
Well, I mean, if you're asking me.
You should do Passionate Patty Lost in the Jungle.
That's a good one.
Just because it'd be fun to tear a dress up, maybe.
Tear the dress up, and I would have to bring an extra oversized bra with novelty coconuts or empty coconuts in it as my accessory, so that I can, twirl it to kill a boar.
Yeah, what? Man, I love that visual. That was awesome. Yeah.
I would do that.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, did you know, Anna, that 2 out of 5 Sierra protagonists are wearing a tunic in this episode? Because I'm looking at Sunny, Lara, Robin Hood, King Graham, Roger, and Gabriel. And, that's a high tunic to pants ratio.
They really liked the tunic. Now, do you think that's sort of like a time period thing? They pick tunic-centric time periods?
Right, just to do the highly placed and rather fat, wide waist belt. I ran out of breath trying to say all that.
They do like that. I mean, there's tunics, I suppose you could say, in Quest for Glory as well. They've got the belt, and it's a thing.
I don't know that.
That's why I've chosen to talk about something you don't know, so that you're just going to nod and say, Anna, you're right, all the way through.
I know. I love that. I get to mentally tune out. It's like a little break for me in the middle of an episode. Oh, man. Okay. Well, we're going to get to our actual questions, but a special shout out goes to Bob and Threadbare, because my dude, he's wearing some sort of kilty situation, which I get down with. So it's just, it's nice to see some testicles in a skirt. Look, that's probably not a great overall. We're just let's keep going forward, because, it was a factual statement. There's nothing wrong with it if you really break it down. Look, listen, first question. Hit him with the razzmatazz, distract him.
Quick, look over there.
Okay, no, but for real, because I don't know how to start this, because it's just a bunch of silly questions for us. So I guess we just start saying the silly questions, right? We gave everybody enough to go on. We could ask like pandering kind of weird questions to the audience, knowing they can't answer.
We could, and then we could sit quietly and wait for them to answer.
Right. And then they could let us know if they actually answered it. All right, this all sounds painful.
Let's go with fashion most affected by trends at the time, which I find it's an interesting question because, I had two different ways to interpret this, and I didn't ask you which way to interpret it. I could be trends at the time that the game was set, or trends at the time that the game was made. But I took it as trends at the time that the game was made, and I took it to some of the more realistic games like Police Quest or even Leisure Suit Larry, the trends being how the man would dress typically and how a woman would dress typically. You've got your beautiful clothes, a little bit more revealing, less clothes, suggestive pixels. And that was really trendy at the time. In the 80s and 90s, this is what we wanted. We wanted the men to be men and the women to be bodacious.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was a hyper sexualized time for everyone, because I think the whole, boy, this is a weird route to immediately take this, but the whole I'm doing it. The whole objectification route tends to easily happen on the women's side, right? Where it's like with the boobs and the glaving. No, that's sorry, but it's like let us not forget He-Man. Right, that this came from the same time period. I mean, just oiled down rip dudes as far as the guys were concerned.
Oh, he's super hot.
And
Adam. We all wanted Adam, too.
Right.
Everything about it, the meek, mild personality, the tough guy, Superman, Clark Kent. Dude, this is all eye candy.
Right. I mean, the man had just a juicy V cut, or whatever you ladies are calling that. But he also had the most ridiculous "don't touch me" haircut I've ever seen in my life. Are you serious? Like the bowl cut with the long hair coming out from under the bowl that He-Man had? That
just
shit
flinging it back.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
I can't bring that home to my mom.
His mom definitely said he did that. His mom did that, and he never changed it. Or it was the first haircut he got when he moved away from home, and nobody's been sort of brave enough to tell him not to.
Well, I think what we're trying to say is, from in this era, society was like, hey, we want just everyone to be sexualized and hot and fun to look at. So it was the opposite of right now. Because right now we're just like everything's got to be painful and ugly, and we just it's got to be like real life, because this isn't escapism. We're not trying to play like a fantasy role-playing game to get the fuck out of the regular life where it's all ugly. I know it's all ugly. All right. I'm sorry, I'm wildly off subject. But back to the actual subject, which might have been fashion most affected by the trends at the time. And this is an easy answer for me, so I'm just going to pop in and answer it. I mean, you can't just say pop in when you've been talking for several minutes, but I'm going to stay popped in and say Leisure Suit Larry 5. The Memphis design.
Very much
it was concentrated
of its time.
Early 90s. Yeah.
Very good. Well, then Space Quest 4 would fit right in where you're going with that. With the malls and the...
Right, that's fair.
Right into the 90s when we were playing it hard. Because when we went to the Galaxy Galleria, we were thinking about our own mall. We wanted our own Galaxy Galleria. This was the future, not too far in the future.
Right. Yeah, it was tangible. So is that your answer then, Space Quest 4?
Is now.
Or, okay, right.
Wasn't, is now. Yeah, right. For sure. I think that's... Being how you answered it, that is now my answer.
Okay, that's fair. Plus,
I get extra answers.
It's good to have one in the bag, all right, the trains we're moving now. We got one done.
Mhm.
This feels good. We were stuck in a I can't start this episode loop, and you got us out of that. So amazing. Okay. The next one is which character. Oh, yeah, I don't have to read it like that. Look, which character tells you the
Listen.
most? We should. Okay, I'm just gonna say too. Anna and I just got done like a 3-hour long interview that was super fun, and actually I'll link it below. But man, we really
Yeah.
overbooked ourselves today. It's been just a lot of
Mhm.
talking, and then earlier it was harder than now because we were more like socializing, feeling out the other person who we
Mhm.
don't know, kind of, working that all out. Whereas this is just us. But yeah, we're both a little, just whatever. Which is actually
We've been here all day,
yeah,
folks.
my lack of the ability to explain what I'm trying to say is what I'm trying to say. We're a little,
Mhm.
yeah, but we got this.
Everybody out there is just like waving at us and going, "Hello, how are you doing?" And we just say, "Great, thanks," and then we go and disappear again.
Right, exactly. All the listeners like, oh, we've toned you out already. I mean, you're still playing in the
Yeah.
background, but I'm not really. And then me saying that made one of them be like, wait, they're onto us.
It's so true.
Okay.
Which characters tell you the most about who they are by how they dress or otherwise appear? Outside of like the hooker upstairs in Larry one.
Wow. Why outside of? I mean, that's peak answer right there.
She's saying it right
Like,
there. And if that's the thing about Larry, and going back to characters for a minute, you get your back off view and you get your character portraits. And I think Sierra did a great job with the character portraits, giving you that little bit more detail, that little bit of a close-up view, and really taking advantage of the pixels by spreading it out across the scene to give you a more detailed inside view on your character's personality. And that tells you tons. So and Larry, here he is teaching you about how to deal with women. He's saying, look at them before you try to stick anything in or around them. This is the polite way to do things with a
right.
woman. But that's it. That gives you the depth of character. So speaking of character to the design, that the back off view and then the in closer pixel brings you in a personal room into a more intimate conversation. I think it's really critical to the enjoyment of some of those games, especially when they don't have as much detail right away.
Right. Ah, that was actually a really good point. I was the whole time I'm like looking for like the Larry prostitute joke, but it ended up just being a well-rounded point instead, which is also acceptable. It's nice to get one of those in the bag early on too. Well done. So I actually went to ask for clarification because at first when you started saying that again, I was looking for like naughty stuff in there, and then I realized it was serious. So help me out in the beginning. I thought you said portraits, but now I'm wondering if you mean like the character portraits or how it's framed looking through the window.
Right. No, when you look at them up close and you get to see what they look like close up in the little window in the screen, because it'll show the whole screen being your conversation with them, depending on the Larry game that you're playing.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay.
So you get this like little intimate view. You get to watch their eyes kind of turn to the side. And at a time when graphics are more chunky and you're not getting the detail out of the screen, what these games did was they brought these characters to life in such a personal way where they'll do little things too. In some of them, their shoulders will rise a little, or they'll smirk and they'll look down a little bit. And it's just like, how alive is that?
It's interesting. It's like the original or the analog, you could say, version of what we have nowadays. And listeners, anybody that's like, a lot of like the storytelling YouTube channels, like Y Files, if anybody out there watches that, like they'll do these little really quick little to help with the story, these like illustrations that are done by AI, and it's like a little like depth. It's mostly a static image, but then it'll just move like a little bit, and like maybe the mouth or the eyes will just barely move a little bit, and like the AI made it do that. And sometimes it's terribly uncanny, but for the most part, it's like just enough to get this like that picture's alive kind of vibe. And it's like the same thing is happening all over again. It's also worth noting that I don't think I realized until this moment that they needed the whole screen to do a portrait in that resolution. That's trippy. Because I was just thinking on my end, I'm like, man, maybe I could do that. Like, that'd be fun to do next game or something. And I'm like, oh, I'd probably need the whole screen. Oh, that's why it
Exactly.
takes the whole screen. So it's just crazy.
It's like that in Quest for Glory 1 when you're having a battle scene in the EGA version and you're fighting the centaur or somebody big and scary. And it's the whole screen. You're looking at the back of your head from behind you. You're seeing like the back of your shield. But in front of you, you see the whole character represented. His claws are out. And he doesn't look like that when you're coming up on him on the screen. He's just kind of like a black slinky kind of like thing, the cheetar, right? And he's coming up on you. So yeah, the up close, it brings it to life. Now he's scary. Now it's there. You can see it. You're thrusting your sword into him. But the close up changes the whole dynamic.
Right. That got pretty steamy at the end there. I don't know.
Wild. That's Quest for Glory 4.5. You haven't gotten there yet. It's a whole thing.
Is that real? Or is that a fan game?
No, it's a fan game.
Okay. But it's a real fan game, so.
It is a real fan game. Yep. You can tell by my laugh. You'll just have to look into it yourself. But you're not allowed till you play the rest. You hear that? That's the mom voice that just came out right there on a podcast live.
Right, that was it. Yeah, I can't eat my pudding till I have some meat or whatever. Yeah,
can't eat your pudding if you haven't. Anyways,
that's the Floyd stuff right there.
Yeah, that's the Floyd stuff. Yeah.
Okay, which characters tell you the most about who they are by how they? Oh, right, we went off on a prostitute thing. Okay, so that's fair. But
it's your turn.
Damn, you're taking that as an answer. I was gonna run in there and just okay. So I'm looking at all the Lucas characters right now. I mean, Robin Hood. He definitely is like I'm Robin Hood. So there's that, but that feels cheap and unearned. So does Sonny Bonds, because I mean he's definitely he's like I'm a cop. I'm a police. I'm definitely. And you know a lot about him right off the bat, just in that. So it's like that.
Laverne and Day of the Tentacle, the way she dresses and everything, I think that all kind of is her personality kind of encompassed in an outfit. The way that her skirt hangs, the hairband and the hairstyle, the way her shirt just kind of goes all that little bit funny. Or Bernard too, right? All of like in the Day of the Tentacle, every single character's looks so heavily represents who they are in their personality, like to me almost more so than a lot of other games.
Right. And that's a good point too, because the LucasArts games are just very highly stylized. Like they really they hired artists to do the art. We've banged on about this before too, but it's like Sierra oftentimes are just like, hey, who here can draw? Which one?
Hey, anybody, your cousin. Oh, you have a cousin? Sure.
Right.
Do they need an interview? Well, they're your cousin. That's the interview. Bring him in, have him draw a few screens. Let's see what he can do. No. I'm sure he'll get better. We'll work on it.
Right. You need a storyteller? Well, my cousin Jim there, he's a police officer and he's got some wild tales. You should go talk to him.
That is so true.
All right, you've got some great answers. The Tentacle ones, I should have almost put a cap on it to where it's like it's almost so on the nose.
It's beautifully done. Like the Doctor, everybody is just so. It's like Looney Tunes when you're watching a cartoon that is very formulaic, and the good guy's going to look like a good guy, and the nerd's going to look like a nerd, and the rocker's going to look like a rocker. That's what this is. Or like Full Throttle, the biker is going to look like a biker. Ben looks like a biker.
Yeah, it's making me really rethink my own question, because I definitely didn't mean for it to go down that route, but of course it would, because it's like I'm basically saying, who does the best job of looking. So it would definitely be like Tentacle. Yeah, like you said, any of the Lucas ones, basically.
They're very good at cast.
Maybe Guybrush from Monkey Island 2, because with the plain white shirt, well, to be fair, he's not really a pirate yet either. So.
No, he was growing into being a pirate.
Love those 4-button pants, by the way, since this is a fashion episode. I mean, Guybrush pants. Yeah, dude, that's hot. I love me some superfluous buttons. Just a good peacoat, just a good row of useless buttons, because they look awesome.
It's like in Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. They'd have like 3 rows of nice brass buttons on the front of a uniform just to look good. Right. I respect that.
They had a nice shoulder tassel just for fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh my
mix it
gosh,
up.
the best shoulder tassel. So much better than shoulder pads, which I feel was a necessary part of like the female dominance hierarchy that we were trying to implement in a workplace where we weren't used to being managers, we were more used to being secretaries. So I feel the shoulder blades were needed to give us that extra oomph we needed to get to the next level of managerial work. But, I'm glad that went away.
Plus, what guy doesn't like a nice pair of broad shoulders, you know?
I know, they're super. Wow, those shoulders are real broad. I think I want to marry her.
She could carry me to the room and kick the door open while I'm in her arms.
That's hot.
Yeah, it actually is. Yeah, I like that I
Hmm.
like that for me.
That's fair. I used to remember wearing, like, my mom would lend me her stuff, and I would always cut out the shoulder pad. She hated that I did that in everything I borrowed.
Right. You just gave me lots of flashbacks that I'll spare
Mhm.
everybody on because I don't think they end anywhere fun. But yeah,
No, it's true.
that actually made them sound interesting by accident, which they are also not.
Whoops. Unintentional, interesting. But yeah, that was good. That was kind of interesting.
I still got to pick one though. I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
dude. I'm gonna pick another. The hero in Quest for Glory, bloody looks like a hero. The thief looks thievy. The magic user looks magicy, and the fighter with a big sword looks swordy. And
Okay.
even in the remake, when you did the
Sword.
VGA, they were all very, very much dressed to their profession. Very swordy. Yeah.
I want to do a jokey answer real quick, which is Cedric. He's like, I'm gonna. His vest is so cute. He's just like
Aw.
he's
A
a well
fashionable
he's
vest.
such a well put together little guy. That gets overlooked in all the criticism, you know. But look, listen, the spirit of the question that I failed to communicate is like, okay, here's what I'm looking for. Give me your subtle answer. Who does what I'm saying, but in like a implied fashion. Like, okay, my answer is like Gabriel Knight, where it's like,
Mhm.
well, what meets the surface is like, okay, guy in a long black trench coat. But if you really look, you got the I don't give a shit stubble. But the stubble
Mhm.
also is highlighting the jawline, so he does give a shit. He's just trying to look like he doesn't. And then you got the whole other bad boy thing with the jeans or whatever. And
Mhm.
I'm falling off a cliff quickly with this. But I guess I'm just trying to say is you can gather a surprising amount about Gabriel Knight, even though he's dressed quite subtly. So
Right.
who's your, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to frame this question, but that's what I'm looking for. Is like, who can you learn the most about from looking at that isn't like, hi, I'm a police officer, or Bernard is like who, who's in there that's more beneath the surface or whatever.
Interesting. I think, Freddie Farkas does a really good job of producing somebody who has a casual attire, who is suitable to where he is, but gives you the idea that he has a little bit more in stature. The way he presents and wears his jeans and his shirt, but everything's all tucked in and he's got the vest just so in the buttons. I think like it conveys that his personality, it conveys that he's got a lot of honor, like he's not a careless person. He always puts himself together well. I think I kind of like him for that answer.
That's a great answer. I was immediately excited about it, and it took all my adult self control to not interrupt you from telling your idea. Because Freddy is secretly a killer,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
but he carries himself like more on like the nerd side. Like, if anything, he
Hmm.
looks more like serial killer as opposed
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, yeah.
Soft almost. Hmm.
Right, exactly. But it turns out he was neither. He was just like a brazen out in the middle of the street, gunslinging murderer. So
Hmm.
yeah, good call. Okay, now I feel happy with that. We can do the third of way too many questions if this is the speed in which we go at.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, it's fun. You know what? This relates right back to what we were talking about initially. What is the most cosplayable character? And I have played with that idea for years because so many of our friends out there in Sierra Land have actually played a lot of the characters. Like, for example, my friend Roberta has done Laura Bow, or other people have, it's so cool to see these characters represented. But up until recently, I'd never thought of trying to be one of them myself. How about you?
Fuck, that was a quick turnaround. I knew you were gonna do it, and I was hoping not. I'm like, she's gonna hand this back to me. She's not answering. No, to be like you said, you already kind of answered earlier with the fanfare thing, but dude, I still don't know. I guess the most cosplay. There's so many angles on this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what did I mean by that question? Like, not the easiest, right? That's a tempting misinterpretation of it. Like, most cosplayable as in like easiest, because then I'd be like probably Indiana Jones. I already have a brown leather jacket. The most cosplayable. I as a dude, I'm maybe. I mean, I'm looking at Larry, so maybe that's why I'm thinking it. But Larry's pretty up there.
Mm-hmm.
Roger doesn't seem like he'd be that hard to do, and that wouldn't be fun. I'd want to. Okay, actually, that's a question I have on here for later. Never mind. I'm gonna go with Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? Are you sticking with the glory one?
No, well, I think for like a female, you could like I was talking to Gareth about cosplaying and things the other day, and he said Elsa von Spielberg, and
Oh, shit,
that is
book. Sorry.
yes, the daughter, and this is after she's raised by the brigands, so she's kind of grows up with a little bit more of like a masculine profile. She's the leader of all of them, and she doesn't know what her past is. And when you first find her, and she's dressed as a brigand, and she's almost like disguised, and you can't see who she is, but she's like very, very like hot and powerful and amazing. And there's that like that point where she's not revealed as who she is yet because she doesn't know her heritage, and you can see her power and the knowledge that she has become somebody even if she didn't know who she was. And I think like that would be a really fun character to dress up as because of her her position there is such a unique position. She's tough and she's a fighter and she's powerful and she commands all these men, but actually for real she's like a princess and has all these other things going for her. And kind of a cool dynamic. So that one might be kind of fun. And she's got a really cool outfit too. There's some neat ones out there.
Yeah, I should have like refined the question a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, because there's so many different angles you could take. Who knows? I think maybe some of these other questions actually kind of get to that. We'll just move on to the next. Maybe eventually, I'll be happy.
Do you want to try asking one now?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know if I appreciate that undertone you got there. I feel like I was a few seconds away from a little guy, huh? Buddy,
you can do this.
So like now I feel boyish and shy. Well, I don't know. Like, okay, which character designs age? I finally get one. I'm reading it like I've never read before. Which character designs aged the poorest? Okay, so who's like staple design? Graham's got the blue hat. I don't need to do that. We get it. Which one of those is aged the poorest?
Outside of like your traditional, because we could go back to the ones of any of them and like say before remake, after remake, right? And then you're like, well, did they even upgrade the character? Like technically, if you ask Sierra, the design of Leisure Suit Larry 1 was outdated. So they redid it and made Leisure Suit Larry 1 VGA. So they would have said that the character design aged poorly because so we've redone it so that it's modernized.
Oh, you're making one of them good points again. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I guess we should exclude those. Well, okay. I don't know. I guess because it's our opinion though. So we could have been like, I made the mistake of pulling up this list of Sierra characters, and boy, it's so goofy. It's really distracting. I shouldn't have it up.
Yeah. No, I did like. Okay, I liked Kim. I liked the main character in Prince Alexander in King's Quest VI because he had adorable animations, and that's one of the things I really liked about Space Quest 4 and Space Quest 5 and stuff is the adorable little in between animations. I like it when the character is alive and does stuff in that way, and just kind of like will be like, you know, flail his arms around because a bee's around him or something. So that's kind of fun. But it doesn't mean that the design aged poorly. That's not answering the question at all.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you realized that because it was going to be uncomfortable for me if
To
you.
have to tell you. Me, yeah. No. Like, because there's other ways to look at it too. Like, did the characters in Leisure Suit Larry age poorly because of the way that they framed the character? Like, even the way they would frame people with different sexual identities when you're looking into Leisure Suit Larry 5 and stuff. I mean, would you say perhaps that those characters were framed poorly then in their dress because now they wouldn't be as sexy? But really, if you were at a casino and you were in Vegas and you were in the same situation in 2024, there'd be just as much sexy in real life. That's why it's hard for me to say it didn't age well.
Right. I think we can assume that that's like probably like the technical correct answer, but it's absolutely
Mm-hmm.
no fun at all.
Mm-hmm.
And we,
Mm-hmm.
it's down that whole route that we don't like to fuck with, where it's just like, ugh, whatever. Everybody with their rules and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably the best technical answer though, because there's I don't know, something problematic there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's our
Everything about them is. That's
That's
fine.
our hot take on Leisure Suit Larry. But I'm looking at the LucasArts characters, and first of all, my answer is Cedric because I just want to, in a, like the bitchiest way possible, just take him down for no
Mm-hmm.
reason. Like stylistically, 'cause
Mm-hmm.
it's ridiculous because he's an owl. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you think you're a big man taking down an owl's fashion choices? Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
do. So my pick is Cedric and his little stupid vest. It's so cute. He really is adorable. Like in his sprite. Like I'm not talking about the big on-screen like illustrations of him, which I feel like you see him the most as in the game, or when you remember Cedric, we remember those scenes where you see him drawn like on the tree
Mm-hmm.
branch or whatever. But I mean like his actual tiny little sprite. It's so cute. Little beak. Okay, sorry,
Aw.
sorry. So I'm looking at LucasArts. I don't have a real pick, is my answer, because this is all nonsense. But Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, his sprite, man, his torso is so short. Like
Mhm.
he's got like Jerry Lee Lewis like level pants. His pants are like below his nipples is where his belt is.
Mhm.
It's actually pretty comical how they didn't nobody stopped that from happening. Like, wait a minute, guys, hold on. Isn't Indy's pants up like way too high? Like way too
Mhm.
high. So that's fun for anybody listening who's not driving. Check out Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade sprite. It's I'm not
It's
wrong.
true.
I'm exaggerating a little. Okay, that's fair, but I'm not wrong. Zach McCracken has big ass feet, by the way. So
So does Sam in Sam and Max. He's got very dog feet.
right,
He's
he,
also very detectively. You know what? Talking about clothing, what about Max? Isn't that outdated? He's naked.
yeah, you can't do that. Okay, I'm gonna. This is as most thought as I've got so far all episode is the dig. I
Mhm.
wonder now that like, well, to be fair to the time zone, a little bit after, because I was gonna say now with the internet and blah blah blah, but actually like the show Oz, right? That was a
Mhm.
really good show. Never forget the way they killed Luke Perry in that show. Really, really fucked me up.
Aw, I like Luke Perry.
Yeah, they buried him alive in a wall, in a brick wall. They
Aw.
built a wall around him. So he just and he was standing. That haunts me
Mhm.
to this day. So the guy had to starve to death, right? He just had to stand like forcefully stand for like 20 some days until he died.
Right. And
Like
now he is dead. So,
in a wall in a fictional show.
but
So
in real life too. But
oh,
yeah.
okay, my bad.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
no, then I'm saying the wrong. No, not Matthew Perry.
No, Luke Perry.
Okay, he's
Yeah.
dead.
In 2019. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, is Matthew Perry alive?
No, he's dead too.
All the Perrys are gone.
They're
Jesus
all
Christ.
gone. I'm
This
so
is a very
sorry.
dark day. Yeah, unbelievable. I don't even feel like finishing this now. This is I grew up on the shows they were maybe in.
I liked
So
Beverly Hills 90210. So I always had a crush on Luke and Brian. A couple of them.
um what was I oh yeah, the dig. The dig's design, I almost wonder if they would have done that differently because of how synonymous orange jumpsuits became with prison. Is where I was going
Hmm.
with that.
Hmm.
Every time I think of it, I see the dig characters, I always think of prison jumpsuits, not astronauts at all.
Right.
And like, I guess I'm glad they're orange instead of just like black or whatever, like boringness, because it does give it like some flavor, some flair. But that design wise, that almost seems a little bit of a mistake to me, because I do think about prison every time I see the Dig characters. Okay,
Right. A little
I'm
bit.
exaggerating, but you guys, I can't look at them without thinking of prison.
Mm-hmm.
So, all
Takes you
right,
back to prison, man.
back in the days, yeah, exactly. Where are we at here? Most cosplayable? Nope. Okay. What is the best? Not most. What is the best period correct design? Larbo 2.
Well, horrible one. I was going to say because of her frock.
Oh shit.
I
Okay.
was going to totally call on the frock with the collar, the lace collar that just sticks out all the way around, the conservative blouse. I think it's all super duper period specific to all of the characters. I think they did a really really great job of catching the 1920s, because you're halfway through, you're right at 1925, so it's just that little bit farther away from the First World War, and things were just getting a little bit more wild again.
Right. They nailed the butler too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I have one argument to make there, because this is not a category and it should have been, which is who had the best blouse, who wore the,
Ooh.
and that's Guybrush, obviously. Monkey
Mm-hmm.
Island 1, Guybrush. Nobody
So
rocked
hot.
a blouse like that since Prince. Yeah, he's just that's that's some
Mm-hmm.
game blouses right there.
Blouse like a boss.
Exactly. Thank you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you've been afforded that
Mm-hmm.
on the good graces that you find yourself in. Um,
So you said two. That's nice that we didn't each pick the same one.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, it's. I mean, because I don't. There's honorable mentions or arguable mentions like Robin Hood, right? Where it's just like,
Mhm.
but again, that seems unfair, because that's like his. Well, that is the
It's
question, though.
thematically historical, yeah, but it's like based within it's not a made up story. It's a recreation
It was
of a
picked
made up
for them,
story.
right?
Yeah.
I'm with
Same
you.
with Conquest of Camelot, the Round Table. Yes, it is not necessarily true, but it's also, something that you can kind of like copy because it's already been done. Some of these, like the Colonel's Bequest, like Quest for Glory, is a story that is made up all the way through, even if it does have elements of other stories or ideas woven all the way through it.
Right. This begs the question too: is would anything Space Quest be ruled out? Because how could you say it's the most period correct for a period that hasn't existed yet?
It's
Whoa.
futuristic, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Ooh.
right. I
Mhm.
mean, best period design. I don't know. I don't know if that's. We'd have to get there to find out and circle back to this in 3,000 years, which would be a very nerdy thing to do.
Oh, I'm totally down though. You know me.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, my pick is whatever I said earlier. Larbo 2. Yeah. I feel like I'm going to regret that, because I think I'm going to end up naming that game in several more categories too. Maybe I should space
Yeah.
it out, but whatever. We have plenty of questions. We don't need to milk this episode for content. Next.
Which villain dressed the most villainy?
I like this.
And LucasArts is automatically like one that comes to mind. But I was going to say Adavis from Quest for Glory. He came in on the second one, and he was there again throughout to the end. And he's got that very villainous look to him. He's got the eyebrows that kind of tuck downwards and in, and he's got the angry look on his accusatory kind of perpetual look on his face, and
Right.
his clothing is very rigid and more soldier like, in that you knew that he's somebody that follows things militaristically or ritualistically, but more on the villainous side of things.
Dude, far out. Yeah. I don't want to sound insincere, but I don't want to leave you hanging, so I don't know what to do.
We need to have, that's why I've said I need a backup sometimes, somebody that speaks the language, to jump on the podcast and go, actually do something that I've never had happen here, which is go, you're right, and let me add to that thought.
Let's just straight fantasize for a second in a world where we have millions of subscribers, like where any adventure game content has millions of subscribers, and we're one of them. And so I would hire somebody to stand behind me, like dressed like the Secret Service, and then whenever you were done a Quest for Glory rant, he'd just lean into my ear and be like, and I'd be like, I understand. because he'd relate it to shit I watched or whatever. He'd be briefed ahead of time, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very convenient.
Yeah. That was a fun little. It's fun to pretend. What was the question?
Instead of playing the games. I told, you know what? Okay, I said that I would jump onto Discord with you and play them with you. Either I could play them or you could play them, but I got you. Like, we will get you through these games so you can get my references. And the only reason I say that, and I'm going to be super generous, is because I know you don't like RPGs, and I know you're not a kid now, and I know you have to get through so many games. And here's the thing, and it's a little bit overwhelming. And I think only people that have played the series is going to understand this, is if you wanted somebody to actually have depth of understanding, you're almost literally screwed to get somebody from modern times. Because here I am saying, I'd like you to play all the games all the way through and then play them all as a fighter. I recommend a fighter first because he's tougher and he's going to fight. He looks like a fighter. He's a fighter. And then I recommend magic user. And then I recommend thief because it's trickier, but there's a lot of cool stuff to it. And then there's hybrid characters where you mix them up, mix them together and do different things. And then you can do things with like messing with the stats and debug codes and completionist things. And then there's speedrun things. So like, I'm like literally sitting there going, excuse me, could you dedicate 1,500 hours or so to this game so that you and I could have a good conversation about it? It's ridiculous. But other fans will know what I mean.
I was getting anxiety for when you were going to end that because I'm like, I don't know what to say. She's been going for a while and I should have something figured out by now. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh my God.
And that's not to mention the remakes. So, you know, and then the 4.5. Anyways, that's nothing to do with fashion, but that's it. Villainy villain. What's your villainy villain?
Man. Alexander looks ridiculous with that scarf on. Jesus Christ. You know who's the villain? That scarf is, am I right?
Oh my.
Having another go at being catty. All right. I'm going to say either Vohal or LeChuck. Neither of them are fucking around. Like, you look at them, you're just like, but on a more subtle note, I would go, and I can't remember the name, or else I probably would have said this instead of all this nonsense, but the dude from Full Throttle. Like, he was a pretty good villain in Ferment. You know what I mean? Is that a word? Like, yeah, it has to be. If it's not, it's, you know, it's a made up derivative of infer. But it's like you can it's not
it's inferred
on
is real, yeah.
Right, but it's not too on the. It's not like definitely. It's like because I just remember the first time or two that you see him, you're just like, maybe he's the one, you know. But it's not like overtly. And I might be misremembering. If I'm misremembering and you like love that game and you know that I am, please don't embarrass me in front of everyone and say that. But I feel like that's the case, and if it's not, then you know, so be it. Okay. I did okay with that one.
And the gangsters in the Police Quest series, like I'm looking at on the characters here. Juan Jose Ruiz, who is, I think he worked with the company, but anyways, he was like the bad guy in Police Quest 3, and he's got like the red headband and the sunglasses and like the plaid kind of like button up shirt, and he looks like a bad dude, and he's a big guy, and that's how he represented in the games.
Right, I remember you. Yeah, you pull him over. That's right.
Yeah, and he's just like, what, like, you know. And you go to court. He goes to court and everything later.
I was going to say maybe he'd be a candidate for like Age of the Poorest, but that might still be a thing, like fashion wise. And now I'm panicking because I don't know if I'm allowed to say the other thing. I think I am, but I'm going to just play it safe because editing sucks. Who's Roger Hardy? One of the Larry games. He looks like Seinfeld. Okay. Are we good there? Did you pick your villainy villain? Was that the whole Quest for Glory thing? Okay.
Yeah, that was it. That was all those words at the beginning you didn't understand.
Yes, something Spielberg, maybe Czar. I don't know. So, was any of that right? By the way, was there a Czar or a Spielberg?
Spielberg. Yeah, no, you're right about the Spielberg. You did good,
dude. 1 out of 2 is not bad. Okay, if you had to dress like an adventure game character for a month, who would it be?
Right, and I thought about this one, and I decided, like Laura Bow on the cover of Laura Bow 2, because the dress is classy. She's going to get stuff done. She's going to feel good about herself all the time. The hardest thing will be cleaning the creases all the time. Because, like, I know me, I'll have like crumbs in the creases and shit. And I'll be like having to like wipe stains off. Like, it'd be hard to not fuck up a dress or anything if I was to be wearing it for a week straight, because I'm not necessarily that organized to
You
be able
did
to do.
think about this.
I did think about this. But that would be what I would wear for sure. Because I think that's hot dress too. The green and the way that it riffs all the way down, it would be really flattering. I feel she's a lot taller than I am. I feel I'm a lot shorter than she is. So often I go with like empire waists or something that's just going to make me look a little bit more fit into my body type. So, it would be an adventurous choice for me, but I think I could pull it off.
Well, if you go by sprite size, she looks a pinch taller than Sunny and Gabriel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. See, she's like 5'8", dude.
I'm trusting that Point and Click Legends, in case anybody from there, I just pulled this picture, but I'm trusting that they've got them all on the same y-axis there. Or is that an X?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I still get that backwards. I have to do y and x axes every day in game dev, and it's like Sam and Max. I'm determined to not really know which is which.
Mm-hmm.
Max is the rabbit. Okay, listen.
Yeah, Max is always the rabbit because Sam, you imagine that name with like a guitar, or I mean a cigar, not a guitar, but like a cigar sitting at the desk with his feet up and like the grizzled detective. It's that kind of a name, or Max.
Right. Yeah, man, I really could see
like
both.
Wild. Max is kind of like a wild name, isn't it? Like Crazy Max.
No,
I don't know. I had an uncle named Max. He was not crazy at all.
You know what though? Because I agree with you. Here's what it is. I feel like it's Sam that messes me up because I could see the dog being Max or Sam.
Yeah.
But but you're right. I can't see Max, the actual Max, being Sam. Sam's too chill of a name for his face.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason I just like the dog looks more like a Max than a Sam to me also, I guess, which is fine. It is what it is. But like this is minorly interesting. Lara is about this because Sunny is like at more of a bent walk here in the sprite, if I'm being really nerdy about it, which I am. And so Lara looks like the same height as Sunny and just a little bit taller than Gabriel. Gabriel looks like a little shorter guy, which it kind of fits him because he's
like 5'8", 5'7".
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was with one
Which
of
is
those
good because he's so attractive. He needs to be shorter. Like, come on, man.
Tone it down a notch.
Yeah, you
buddy.
can't have it all.
Grace is actually what, like tiny bit almost as tall as he is.
Who? Grace?
Yeah.
I don't have Grace. It's because I've been looking at this. It's probably valuable for you to know, or everybody listening if you're curious. It's Sunny next to Lara, next to Robin, next to Cedric, next to Graham, next to Roger, next to Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the only ones I could see. So if a lot of my answers today come from those characters, that has something to do with it because I keep looking over and seeing them. And of course, little Larry, he's a tiny little guy.
Mm-hmm. And just a little dude. So which heroes are tall then? Or which protagonists are actually tall?
Graham is the tallest and the broadest shoulder too. And then Robin is second, and then Roger, and then Lara, and then Sunny, and then Gabe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It strikes me that she'd be a little bit taller because she's quite like nerdy and persistent in her passion, but she's also quite pretty. And you always wonder, like what it is that gives her the stature of, having that presence about her. And it could be that she just has that little bit more height.
I don't know how I agree with you so deeply. And I don't know how to articulate it. It's like she just feels like she'd be a tall woman. I can't do better. Is Gina Davis tall? Is that what I'm doing? Am I like?
Is she? She must be. Oh my gosh, I love her too.
I know, man. Every dude listening to this show loves Gina Davis because that was the era. Like, man, she was just.
Yeah, she's 6 feet tall, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where my subtleties come.
That's hot. That's great. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't know if the listeners have heard that, but like I'm not very tall. Because I'm 5'1" and a little.
Oh.
And I don't wear heels really very often. So that's just me.
Wait, you said 5'1"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 5'1" and a little smidgen.
Right. There it is.
It's there. It's real. If I wouldn't be a girl if I didn't say that. Come on.
It's like a child insisting they're 9.5 years old.
That's right. 9.5. I'm not just 9. Okay.
Oh shit. Do we answer this, by the way? I don't even know what the question was.
Right. So we are
Oh, you had to dress like one for a month. And you
yeah,
said Laura.
we did.
Good.
I said Laura.
I
And what did
didn't-
you say?
I said nothing.
Right.
Indiana Jones is tempting, but I mean, in the real world, you would look like you were cosplaying Indiana Jones. You couldn't just be like, "What? No, I always wear my man bag
Harrison
diagonally
Ford
across."
is my uncle.
Actually, I do always wear but I probably do that because of Indiana Jones. Still, I don't wear it under the jacket. It's you know what I mean. You don't wear the man bag. That's weird that he wears his man bag under the jacket. Honestly,
That is a little weird. I think for protection.
right.
We call them satchels here. My husband uses a satchel. My
Love a
dad
good
does
satchel.
too.
Yeah.
They're very, very practical.
I'm gonna go with bobbin.
Right.
It'd be a fun social experiment on top of it, just to measure everybody's reactions to the shadow of your face and nothing more.
Just like the eyeball slits.
Right.
And will you carry your distaff everywhere you go?
Oh, for sure. That's why. Yeah.
Oh, I felt so relieved when I said after the episode about when I got told that Bobbin was supposed to dye everything green, and I was like, well, you work for other people, and who always gets to do what they want, and I proceeded to make everything green, even though they're like hinting you don't like the color green. Anyways, my good friend Jessen, your beta tester, messaged me and said, I thought the exact same thing when I played. I was just like,
Nice.
I mean, thank you.
That's adorable from both of you too, because it's just like it's not about what we want; it's about what our job is. Okay,
Yes, that's it.
everybody could stop dicking around.
Just get the job done, and then you can have fun later, guys.
That's awesome. All right, we're good. We got Bobbin. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get to all these. We have maybe too many questions.
It's a lot of questions, man. This would be quite an episode. This would be like,
Dude, could we save some of them for a part 2? That would be very cool.
we
Ideas
might have
for
to.
shows are
Geez.
hard, so this would be a free one. But we had a lot of fluff in this too, so I don't know if we have like a whole episode. Okay, look, we'll just I don't know if people are interested in hearing us plan future
So,
episodes.
what would be the most uncomfortable world to dress in?
Thank you. Most uncomfortable world to dress in. It's a surprisingly good question.
Back to Colonel's Bequest again.
Right, that looks very
Starchy.
You you have to strategically sit down. Like there's things you do before you sit, kind of clothing era.
I don't know. Freddie Farkas feels like his outfit would be a bit crunchy at the beginning, but he'd work his way into it. And after a while, it would be quite comfortable. It would be like slipping on an old suit. It would be very nice.
Okay, going with Freddie. That's a good one.
But he would be comfortable, though. I'm supposed to think about uncomfortable. So
Oh,
that was
right.
the opposite answer of
Right.
what you would be looking for.
Phew. Maybe Guybrush in Monkey Island 2, his boots look really heavy. And they're getting wet all the time, so you're just sloshing around these big... It's a pretty desperate answer. I didn't think it would have such a hard time with this.
Katrina in Quest for Glory 4, because although my boobs are bodacious and I do love my beautiful shoulders, with or without pads, the
Wait,
thing is,
which did you mean?
that's the boobs are the soldiers.
Right.
The shoulders are different. But it feels like I feel in the dress she's wearing a corset potentially. And the boobs are pushed up so high, they're up close to her chin. And I feel like it would be really uncomfortable, but the velvet would be nice.
You were doing good until you complimented it at the end.
Yeah.
That
Well,
hurt
it would
the
be it wouldn't be scratchy. Because like a lot of those, it would be uncomfortable because you'd have more exposed and pushed up and tightened in the center, but you wouldn't be itchy. And itchy is something I always take into consideration. And I'm imagining some of our listeners maybe feel the same way. Is it's not like I have sensory issues, but I am particular to if there's something itchy, like one tiny itchy sliver in my pants, because I have a woodworking shop and I'm going to be taking my pants off. I don't care where I am and hunting out that damn thing and getting it out. Like I am not the kind of person that's going to ignore that.
Right. That's fair. I mean,
Mhm.
you might have over justified it, right? Because no, being itchy is not tight. You know,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
dude, this is a weirdly hard question to answer. Like, I think I just forgot how to be objective or disagreeable all of a sudden because I'm like, well, I don't know, this all looks fine. Like,
Dressed like the girl in the tower.
okay, maybe that's a good angle though because that era probably took a long time to get dressed.
Yeah, like with all, yeah,
Right.
you needed handmaidens and people to bind things behind you. That's why corsets is kind of where I come to. I don't have one. I've never worn one, but I think it would be really cool if I did and I had a handmaiden that would stand behind me and lace it up very intricately every morning. And if you don't mind the displacement of the organs and the other sort of fainting and problems that came with it, I think it's quite hot.
I'm having a hard time doing this as a guy though because I can't really use the corset and all that. By the way, I fully agree with that.
Thanks.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do as a guy. I keep thinking the guy Rush in Monkey Island 2 looks like heavy,
Hmm.
but he looks awesome. So therefore, it's worth it because I like fashion and style and stuff like that. So I suffer for the look sometimes, man.
You could dress like Arnoid the Annihilator, but that might be a bit much.
Yeah, I don't know physically how
Like
to
a
do that.
belt, a red belt. That's it. And then you paint the rest of yourself silver.
Wow, that's a pain in the ass. Yeah, I wouldn't want to. But that's also a stretch. It's not, because it's cosplay. It's not really what he is. I don't know what to do. I think I'm just gonna bail. I got nothing. That's official final answer. I don't know. That
That's
feels
fine.
that feels so defeatist though. Okay, hold on. Um, one last take him. Oh, Alexander in King's Quest 6. What a dick. I would not want to dress like that at all.
Hmm. Oh, Adrian in Phantasmagoria.
I meant to say douche. He's not a dick. Actually, Simon the Sorcerer. I hate that outfit, man. I've never liked the look of that fucking robe, dude. It just
No,
looks
it's too
so.
slouchy. You know how
Yeah,
dirty the hems
it
of
is.
that robe is? Do you know?
It's too schleppy,
Oh
and
my God.
yeah,
Kathy Rain's smelly jacket.
I got the schmutz on the bottom. Yeah, that's a mess, man. I
That's
don't
it.
want to.
It's a few. But no, like imagine the t-shirt from Phantasmagoria one, Adrian's t-shirt, but like
The
at
arms
the
on.
end of the shooting set because there was only the one and it was like held together literally with duct tape.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was the same one she had to wear every single day on set all the way through, and they never bought her a replacement one at all.
Dang. I wonder if anybody in the car right now just had a small panic attack because of the sirens.
Oh,
You know?
sorry, guys, that was my fault.
And it's
I
over.
have my choir is right where there's a police station, and it's a really heavy neighborhood of town. So like I record the rehearsals so that I can listen to them later on, and it's like if I'm listening in the car, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, is it behind me or is it on my tape? I just have to memorize where they are on my tape. I still call it a tape. That's the funny part.
Wow. Yeah. Well, this is
Mhm.
the audience for that. It reminds me
Mhm.
of like I feel like it was like 2006 ish. There was like an era where like half the hip hop songs had sirens in them on
Mhm.
purpose, like for sure.
Mhm.
Whenever
I
like
know.
Escalades and like spinning rims are in.
No, there's a lot. Like even in NWA and some of the OG stuff, you're going to
Right.
listen to that with your Ice Cube and stuff. It's like if you watch that, you're going to have police sirens. My parents love it because I listen to gangster rap here, and then we watch war documentaries and they have the air raid sirens, and like it rings through like the whole house. And we actually used to have an air raid siren at the top of the hill at the park, just down the street from my house, and the thing was ominous as fuck, man. It was so scary, and I heard it go off too, but not for any bad reason, but just they were testing the systems and stuff. But ominous.
Ominous. Okay, what game or series covers the most ground as far as fashion styles?
So if you're like going all the way through it as fashion changes throughout the series,
That's one way to look at it. I don't mean that in as condescending as it sounded sort of way.
Oh, so do you mean like within the series, different fashion? So different people dressed in different ways? Because
Yeah,
then
yeah,
you'd be
yeah,
like
yeah.
conquests of the longbow, although they're all peasanty, but all the people with the market, they're all dressed different ways, but it's not really the same thing. That's an interesting question.
But you're right. It isn't, but it is, right? Because to them, it's different styles. Like to that time
Hmm.
period. Like I think that's a technically correct answer. But I know what
Hmm.
you mean. It's like we can't even really tell. Like we wouldn't look at like that tunic is lower class than that tunic. Like I don't know. We weren't there.
Hmm.
Um,
It's like back to Quest for Glory at the very end of the game, or even the second one, or any of them, where everybody surrounds you. Well, not mostly in the
I'm just
first
gonna
one
go
too.
pee.
Yeah, yeah, funny. And everyone surrounds you, and all the people that you know are there. And you distracted me. But anyways, everybody has different businesses and different statures and different positions in life. So you can see them coming from all walks of life, but they're all there for one purpose: to honor you as the hero because you're awesome. But stuff like that's pretty cool.
So it's like people, right? The all walks of life thing made
Hmm.
sense for me. See, I'm trying on that one
Hmm.
because
No, you did good.
it's like the beginning of the Lion King. You got your gazelles, you got your crocodiles, all different levels of the animal hierarchy are showing up for Simba to honor the new king.
Hmm.
So something fashion based on that. No, I
Just can't wait to be king.
yeah, thank you. Anything to end that whole thing I started that I regret. I have no answer for this. This is an annoying question that I made, and I don't know why I made it. It's too hard. It's like you really have to think about it, and
Oh,
maybe it's just
Space
not a.
Quest 4.
Oh,
Because of
that's
the
really
mall
good. And
and the different costumes. Oh, yeah, baby. That's it
yeah,
right there.
peak answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna get in on that too.
Mhm.
Yeah,
No, it's good because, I mean, it's super duper represented as the future. You have your different locations. You're even going to different, like, time periods and different games within one game. Like, it's just there's just so much going on fashion-wise.
yeah, that's an awesome answer. Ah, nice. Okay, completion. Ah, satisfying.
Mhm.
So I like this one. Best version of Roger Wilco.
Ooh. Oh, well, I still say 4. I love the 4 version. 4 was really when, I mean, I 6, I didn't want him to be so lanky. I never was a big fan of some of the characters getting taller and lankier later on, that much so. So,
Right.
I mean, and 6 was fine too, but I like the 4 version. I like the little animations. I like the way he looks. I like his personality. I like the way he dresses in 4.
Um, what are your opinions on 5?
I like 5.
I think that's my favorite, but I am pulling it up. Okay. I've got all the Rogers in front of
Oh,
me.
we're going to look at stuff
No,
here. That makes things easier.
I'm just being annoying because I happen to like this question, so I'm giving it a disproportionate amount of
I
effort.
just didn't want to type in people's ears. I'm trying to behave myself here. But
Um,
he's got more stature, right? I mean, he's you're following the line staturally. He's at a position now where he is somebody more. Being at the beginning, he was just like a schlep that kind of fell into everything. But as you progress to number 5, and people are getting to know them, and he's sort of heading up the next step with the school and everything else. It's a little bit more like of a power within his outfit, right? The emblem on the front, a little bit more parody wise compared to like Star Trek, and things that it's referencing that are already out there in the real world, as compared to being entirely of its own like story kind of. It went a little bit more into that side of things.
yeah, man, those are all really good points. I never thought of it because, man, even in the pose they put his sprite in, kind of expresses what you're
Hmm.
describing right now, and as it fits the story. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
There you go.
It gives this episode some meat where it's like, hey, look, we're talking real character design here. Rogers finally, he's on the up. He just fresh off a
Hmm.
win. But the design
Hmm.
wise, I really like. I don't know. It's hard to say because I like the iconic, whitish grayish with the purple sleeves because that's the two. In
Hmm.
on one hand, like that kind of is Roger. At least the purple sleeves, right?
Hmm.
The blonde or brown hair,
Hmm.
all that aside, the purple sleeves is kind of Roger. But I still think he looked the best in 5. I really like the red design with the big upside, like the big logo on the chest, which 6 has the big logo too, but like you said, he's too schleppy in 6. He doesn't he
Hmm.
looks the most like a janitor in 6, so there's that.
Mm-hmm.
But Roger,
He
yeah,
looks arrogant, but not very bright in number 6.
right. It's funny because he almost looks arrogant in 5, but in a he's faking it sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
Well,
6,
he has the bravado. He feels like he's earned it for sure in 5. He is getting that feeling like, hey, there's something to me after all. I'm not just like a broom closet guy. I'm who I thought I was but wasn't able to be before. Because I think personally that he's always kind of had grand ideas about being somebody like the captain, as many of us would. I mean, you could just kind of like go and assume that. So in 5, he's finally become that. He's who he knew he always was to begin with, but he had the opportunity to become.
well put. I like that. And you're right. And there's also this air of like he's so new to being a success. He's so new to having a
Mm-hmm.
win that he almost is imitating what
Mm-hmm.
other successful, healthy, well-off people. You know what I mean? Like there's like this imposter
Mm-hmm.
syndrome going on there.
So much so that by the time he got to the 6th one, he entirely changed his lifestyle, personality, and situation.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I guess this isn't real. I am the imposter.
The girlfriend, the canon, it's all out of here. Forget it.
Oh man, just don't ask the two guys what they think. You're fine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, you would at least you'd at least have like a 50-50 on talking about 6. Just don't talk about the
Mm-hmm.
remake.
Mm-hmm.
I mention this anytime I possibly can, basically, which is there is a patch out there that will make Roger's hair blonde in the first 2 games. And just in case anyone needed to hear that, this is your yearly
Mm-hmm.
reminder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be much more help than that, but finding it online is half the fun. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
having a blonde Roger in Space Quest 1. Like, you're not going to play the whole game through because he's blonde now. You might fire it up and be like, look at that. But that's the extent here. The fun of it is finding it um, on your own. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the next one is pick one character and give them a makeover.
Hmm.
Wow.
Put Larry in something other than a leisure suit.
Oh, yeah, he might be the most obvious choice, huh?
Mm-hmm. Like dress Larry as Gabriel Knight and just see if he gets more girls that way.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Or
Like,
how about like even Dawn from Phantasmagoria? He's got that like everyman look to him. The way he dresses, the like Fisher jacket, the ponytail, the white shirt, just this kind of like, I don't know, it's very of his time. Like he could be your dad or your uncle or your friend or a, psychotic demon, whatever.
yeah, exactly. All these labels, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's the easiest one to imagine going on to an extreme makeover show. Probably because he's a real human, but you know
They
what I
go to
mean.
cut his hair and he's like, no.
Right, right, exactly. It makes like the most dramatic results. They spin him around. And he's got like Ryan Seacrest hair now or whatever that guy was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hot.
I don't think it's him, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter.
No, like that.
Yeah, like that. I'm hoping
Mm-hmm.
for a little more spike there. There's a guy I'm trying. Okay, we're leaving that. Forget it.
What about Keith? Give Keith a makeover and put him in a suit.
Yeah, right. There'd be like gray streaks in his suit because Ash
Yeah.
fell down on top of it and he smeared it in.
Yeah, no doubt. There's like some spaghetti stain on the pocket because he's like, well, fuck it. I washed it once.
Right, exactly. Uh, what about any of the ladies? Any of the ladies need a makeover, a do over?
Mm.
What if you
Hmm.
that wasn't going to be inappropriate either.
Yeah, let's take Rosella and
Right,
put
unbraid her hair.
Rosella. Yeah, let's unbraid her hair. Let's make her a little cuter, kind of like how she was in 7, but back in the days of 4. Give her like let's take her and make her one of Larry's girls.
And for fun, you could do it while you sing "Unbreak My Heart," but sing it as "Unbraid My Hair." I don't know
Yes, that's beautiful.
why. Just
That is.
in
It's going through your head
the
now. I
faint
get it.
hopes I can burden any of the listeners with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got plenty. I still don't think we're gonna make it through all of these. Maybe we'll just keep saying that until we're done. But my God, we can't. I can't put a dent in this fucking list, dude.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. Arguably not even halfway through it. Is Like, should we start skimming these for the best ones? What's a quick on-air huddle here? What do
Well,
we?
here, let's see. Let's see. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay, I'll say
9,
things
10,
to them while
11,
you count,
12,
so it's fun to listen to. This would
19,
be a great
20,
time if we
20.
had like an ad or something. Are
1,
you done?
2, 3,
Fuck,
4,
she's so
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So we've done half of them now, just over half.
fantastic. And it's
Mhm.
been 80 minutes.
Right. So like, let's stay in order
Okay.
and do another question.
What a great plan. Okay.
And go from there.
Terrific. Okay. That was useful. Um
It was like, picture like one of those little Monty Python intermission scenes with like really cool hand-drawn graphics and like naked people and stuff, and then they eat somebody else, and then they eat somebody else, and then some big foot comes from the sky and squishes them, and that's what happened when I was
wow.
talking.
That was very good. Yeah. That was really good. You followed the eating yeah. Well done. Okay. Well, the next one is uh which character's outfit best reflects? Did we do the makeover thing? Yeah, we were fine.
Mhm,
Why would
mhm.
I go back? Come on, man.
No, don't do
Jesus
it.
Christ. Which character's outfit best reflects their personal journey, man, and their evolution?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
mostly their journey.
Why do we need to keep talking about Roger over and over and over again?
Because he has probably the most well defined arc.
It's true though. It
I
really does
know.
define. I mean, and with ranking and things too, like you can't deny it what position he is in the ship or where he is. Ranking is a huge part, like the hierarchy in a game like that is very important. It's the same in Quest for Glory. The hero, he's nobody at the beginning and he works his way towards being somebody, but in the fourth one when he shows up, he's nobody again and he's not a hero, and he has to sort of pick himself up and become somebody again. So there's all these layers to it. It's interesting.
Which really immediately sent me down this rabbit hole of how most of the other adventure game protagonists never had for little tiny easily explainable reasons never got to have just a pure chance at an arc. And hear me
Hmm.
out real quick. Okay. King's Quest, they kept switching the protagonist. Fair enough.
Hmm.
Larry, like his whole shtick is not changing. So it's like, of course he didn't change. Like, yeah, there was that moment like where he got married, but they didn't. Okay, I'm leaving Larry there because he doesn't. It's not like he comes out of Larry 7 like a
Hmm.
changed and better person. He's just Larry. He just happened to have like got married on a whim real quick at some point. I don't think that really shoehorns him into character arc territory.
Hmm.
Um, and then Guybrush, just for the fact that there's muddiness around escape and tails and canon,
Hmm.
it fucks the whole thing up. Because it's
Hmm.
like it's like regardless of what Guybrush did, like kind of Rogering it, like going up and then back down and blah blah blah. But it's like we don't even really know what his arc is because the defined territory of canon is kind of ill established, and maybe it was just retconned last year to be like, okay, just Ron Gilbert's is the trilogy. I don't even
Hmm.
know, or it's not about that. I do kind of care, that's why I reeled that in. But the point is again, Guybrush never really gets a fair chance at just like a good 4 or 5 game arc because of
Hmm.
his own political reasons, and then that leaves us with. I mean, there's Sonny Bonds, but yeah, he just stays a cop.
He stays a cop and his rank just gets a little bit increased over the course of time. So he gets a bit more professional. And I guess by the time you get to the third, as far as my brain was when I first got it, it's like, whoa, this one's photorealistic, I thought.
Yeah, and as a character, it's like it's less an arc and more like a career evolution.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like just going up the rank as one would, as opposed to like developing as a character. And in defense of that whole thing, because I really like Police Quest, so I want to defend it because nobody
Hmm.
nobody else
Nobody
will.
ever talks about it. And so I want more Police Quest
But to me,
talk.
Sonny was like he was like the epitome of an avatar. Like
Hmm.
like like how the first 2 space quests, like you weren't Roger, you were your name. Like Sonny was
Hmm.
more, I think he was more meant to be like just a blank slate for us to, you know, whatever. Um
Hmm.
I almost made a decent point until I knowed whatever it did at the end, but whatever. Again, for the second time, whatever. So okay, am I done with my little annoying? Like I feel like I'm lecturing everybody at this point about the character arc thing. It's just interesting. I'm having the first moment realization that like none of the other big like title protagonists had the opportunity to have an arc. There's maybe Gabriel Knight. I can't really speak on him because I didn't play the third one. So maybe because he was heading in arc territory by the second, and Jane certainly knows what she's doing as far as proper character development and writing. So maybe Gabriel. I just can't speak on it. Lara only had 2 games. That's not enough. And the LucasArts, like they rarely got sequels to even be considered for one, except for Guybrush that we covered. That was painful. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I just started really yelling at everybody towards the end there. What is even the question?
Well, I think now we are going to say what is the
Next question?
next question. Pick one. That's the makeover. That was pick one character and give them a makeover.
No. You know what?
No.
Sorry. That was you're right to have no idea. First of all, where we are, but that was which character's outfit best reflects their personal journey, man. Yeah, that whole bit. And
Right. So
I think we're concluding that Roger's the only one that even has one.
Right.
Yeah. The end.
Who has the most iconic accessory in adventure games?
Bobbin. This is not the greatest answer, but it's my answer.
Yeah, Larry, because of the necklace that Larry 5 Larry, which is the same Larry, by the way, that they brought back in Leisure Suit Larry Reloaded in 2013. That's the Larry with the medallion and the purple shirt and the jacket and the pants and the shoes.
And the shoes. Sorry.
And the shoes. He was not barefoot.
And this is fashion, so the accessory doesn't have to be usable. I almost want to change my typing in Sierra characters didn't pull up what I thought it would. Basically, once again, I'll just stick with mine. There's no need to but because I went with like a literal accessory like the distaff. I was thinking like whip. Like that might have sounded weird, but you guys know Indiana Jones. Is probably what he's looking at when he said that. Okay, maybe the mule and gold rush for a jokey answer.
Sure, like my lockpick toolkit from Quest for Glory if I was a thief, so I could, and my oil.
Here
and
we go.
My baton, so that I could, hit people from behind and knock them out. It's very satisfying breaking into people's homes at night in a game, especially if you played it a bunch of times and you never saw inside of people's homes, Paul. To be able to all of a sudden, after knowing the whole game inside out, be in their houses at nighttime when they're sleeping is amazing.
That sounds amazing. I'm not gonna degrade that. This is the same word I struggled with on our interview thing earlier.
Denigrate?
Denigrate, maybe.
Yeah. Denigrate, probably not, because you're not trying to degenerate it, and you're not trying to, denigrate.
What do you call it when with like humor against yourself? Is self-depreciating?
Yeah, self-depreciating.
Yeah, that's the one. That's what I wanted. Okay.
Denigrate means to speak damagingly, criticize in a derogatory manner, defame, to denigrate someone's character.
What about
vilify?
That's good though. Denigrate is vilify. We're getting close to the end of the episode because I'm saying words very wrong all of a sudden. I'm like, will we? Okay, all right. Let's just bum rush the finish line. Maybe we're gonna make it.
My God, it still seems like so many.
I know we're not gonna make it. Maybe okay. Let's do this. Let's try and quick fire them. Because we definitely don't have enough for a whole episode left. I don't think.
Not anymore. No.
Okay, so let's try and let's quick fire them. That doesn't even mean anything. That's basically us just being like, we're gonna try to hurry up.
I've been in this room pretty much since like 9:15 this morning, and now it's like 20 to 4. So at some point I will have to leave.
Entire work days have been completed.
Good thing we get paid by the hour, huh, Paul?
Oh my God! All right. Yeah, I can't even say we could yes or no them because we can't. Okay, all right. Which character's wardrobe would be the most expensive to replicate in real life? Okay, that's fun. I like
that would be. That would be, again, Laura Bowen #2. That's some expensive clothing because she's got a bit more sway now and a bit more money. She's not just some little girl.
Right. Right, and she was with like high society in the second game, right? Like to go on that mission.
To
She
work at that newspaper office, to be with any of those types of people, she would have to be quite like la-ti-da.
Latida.
La-ti-da.
That was fun. Um Man, how did she get that blue dress? She stole it from that guy from New Jersey, right? What's
Yeah,
his name?
good question.
Oh man, yeah. It remains one. The most expensive. I mean, I'm going more. I'm going heavy on LucasArts because they only had enough protagonists to fit cleanly in one little image that I
Right.
keep looking at. It's with Sierra. I'm stalling and being like because I'm just trying to. There's so many Sierra characters. It's really hard to quickly gauge
Well,
it.
what about Graham's outfit's probably not exactly a cheap outfit if you were getting things all custom made for the king. Fancy hat, feather. Come on. That ain't cheap.
Right. Or like Roger's spacesuit stuff. Are spacesuits expensive or is it just like it's a regular we're in the future, my guy. Like this is just jeans and a whatever to us. Or like Rosella, like you would think the princess, like maybe it's like back when like lapis was like a hard color source to get a hold of, like and I know she wears red, but just for the idea of it, like it was hard to find certain colors, and you had to dye the silk or whatever. I'm
It's a
gonna
lot of
go
work.
with Guybrush in Monkey Island 2 because he looks,
It's very put together. He's spiffy.
and this is to recreate like in real life, right? So I don't know
Hmm.
if I meant on a cosplay level or not, but either way, Guybrush in Monkey Island 2 looks like that would be an expensive ass outfit to put together right now.
True. And the hero in Quest for Glory would be expensive because not only do you need a belt and nice pants and nice boots and a nice shirt, but you also need a cape. That's expensive. Capes are not cheap.
No, they're not cheap at all, especially the flowing ones. You want to, one that just really is prone to being scooped up by the wind. That's
We're
some.
back to the same bloody games over and over, but Freddie Farkas's outfit is no slouch. Every single bit of that. That ain't a cheap outfit. The jeans, the vest, that's probably leather.
No, dude, I'm doubling down on Guybrush the more I look at it because I don't know for any listeners if you've ever looked at like guys' fantasy boots, like Ren Fair kind of shit. Like, man, they are expensive. I did a weird beaver from Lady and the Tramp whistle there. That was fun. But like, yeah, dude, like big floppy leather boots like that, and then this like thick ass. I mean, the width of that belt alone. Okay, all right,
Yeah. It's a lot of animal.
yeah, okay. We're done with that. So are we? That was very stern of me for some reason. Did you? Yeah, you did a Quest for Glory one again, right?
I did.
Who? Who is the best dressed sidekick in adventure gaming?
And I've been waiting to put in my opinion. I feel a lot of times sidekicks don't really wear clothing. It's funny.
Holy shit! Yeah, you're right. The little Toonstruck guy, Max.
Yeah. It's just not like I'm not saying none of them wear clothing, but I mean, it's not to say Cedric was naked.
No, he had a little vest on.
A little something, something.
It's a
Okay,
little
Bonehead is not necessarily a sidekick, but as far as like a side character goes, he was just a head in Quest for Glory. But eventually, his Murray, whatever, not that one, the Bonehead, sorry. But eventually, you bring him a gem, which he can make his eye shiny and blue, and you bring him a hat to make him look classy.
very fancy.
Yes, very fancy.
Well, I have a hard answer on this, and it's Keith. It's a sexy man. You
Yeah,
know?
he is. I kind of want him, but he's just not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He's not going to like settle down with one person like that. So dreamy.
This Keith's worship has gone too far. Never. That's not true. Okay, we're done. We're good there. I think I see Cedric in a whole new light today. I've never just just put Cedric the person aside, the
Mm-hmm.
third person, and looked at him for his style, and he's just
Mm-hmm.
adorable. I'm sorry.
He is amazing.
So it's like
I love Cedric.
I think the genuine answer is Cedric,
Mm-hmm.
and Keith, as always, is a nice fill-in for the jokey one.
Yep.
Okay. Well, which characters in a game had the most timeless design? So it aged the best. It was the best aged.
Right. Right.
Like
Right.
right. You get what I'm saying, right? Like I don't know, Gabriel Knight is at least a candidate where it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like if you're thinking about Gabriel Knight as in that FMV shot in the first game,
Right.
then that's immediately dates it. He's got like weird bongo mom jeans, like like that stonewash kind of jeans that the kids are probably wearing again because it's ironic, but really it's super 80s, and we'll always see it that
Mm-hmm.
way. So maybe not that, but if you squint or just look at the sprite of Gabriel Knight, it's just like dude's got jeans. I mean, trench coats are somewhat timeless. They've been out for a while, but they'll be back. They'll be back. Anyway, okay, that was all me just giving you an idea of what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana Jones, I don't think maybe he even counts because he's not ours. He's a movie thing first
Mm-hmm.
because that's pretty timeless.
Yeah, I would say. What
Ben
about like? Oh no, you're still talking. Give her.
Ben is pretty timeless. He still looks pretty bikery. I don't know. I don't think they're tucking their leather jackets in these days, or maybe any days. But Ben's
Mm-hmm.
pretty timeless. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, George Stobart from the Broken Sword games. I think he's super. I've only played the first one. I have the British version, or whatever, the Circle of Blood version of the big box, but timeless, right? You've got your green coat, white shirt. He's very like everyman. He's like every 90s cartoon we ever saw, but like still like even in modern nowadays. He's super duper timeless. I feel in his look and how he dresses with his coat and his t-shirt, sometimes a button-up shirt. Even as time advanced and it got to the more modern games, it was just like white shirt, gray shirt, green jacket. Very, very timeless. Works now, worked then.
Yeah, I actually seriously can't argue with that. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was hating my Gabriel Knight answer because honestly
Yeah.
the trench coat thing ruins it. That was pretty
Mm-hmm.
90s.
It
Like if you
was.
just think about like the Crow and like Matrix, I mean there was lots of that. I know it's a stretch with Matrix because that was probably like 99, but still it was in the 90s, was a long black whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've exhausted myself, but I agree with you. So
Good.
that means we get to go to the next one, which is a fashion off. Oh my god. Girl noises. I don't have that energy in me anymore.
Pew pew.
I feel like Krusty the Clown, like, eh. We just gotta just fucking get there right now. But we got okay. This is fun. We could quick fire this one. Bernard versus Larry.
Right. Well, Larry's obviously more fashionable than Bernard, but Bernard would be a funny costume to wear, huh?
Yeah, they're both pretty good. They're both. But Larry's better because at least Larry
Mhm.
has the chance. I mean, I know nobody in the real world's gonna be like, "Oh my god, are you Leisure Suit Larry?" Like it's low odds, right? That would
Mhm.
happen. But if you go as Bernard, you're gonna just get like, you know, just like a stereotypical Poindexter, as
Mhm.
opposed to like Bernard from Day of the Tentacle or whatever. So Larry wins that, more unique.
Yeah.
Plus, it's in his name. I mean, he earned it. He's,
He earned it.
he's the only one
Exactly.
whose fashion style is part of his name. So I think he
Mhm.
wins the whole episode on that. Which would be a great place to end, but we're not allowed. So the next one is, yeah, we both picked Larry, I guess.
Mhm. Yeah.
Laura Bow versus Rosella.
Right.
They're both, I
Um,
don't want to say victims because that's exactly the wrong word, but they're
mhm.
of their time.
They're both of their time. And like Rosella before she was a princess and after, and then there's Rosella in Seven, but I still got to give it to Laura, man. I think she's probably cuter,
Okay,
actually.
how about look at it this way? Instead of comparing the styles,
Mm.
because that's wildly unfair to a degree. Because then you're just like, well, I prefer
Hmm.
roaring twenties over whatever. How about who just crushed it You know, they both got
Mm-hmm.
put into. They both had a lot of wardrobe changes. So who
Yeah,
consistently crushed it?
Laura, for
Definitely.
real.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. No question. Hands down.
Yeah. Okay.
Audience cheers. Well,
And it's settled unanimously, I
mhm,
assume.
mhm.
Gabriel versus Ben. I don't know Ben's last name, but Full Throttle Ben.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Ben's pretty hot. He's really got the style in the class and the attitude as well. He's got a lot going for him. Gabriel's more like the brooding, kind of like rough and tumble. Like, I don't know how often Gabriel would bathe either. I'm guessing not like
M-
super often.
Yeah, but more than Ben.
More than Ben. That was my point. I think Ben would be a lot rougher and more
Uh,
on the road and a little like,
Ben's gonna
yeah,
choke you a little. Yeah.
yeah. Ben's going to be a little bit pricklier than Gabriel, personally, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Gabriel
Hmm.
because he's got
Hmm.
the more rock and roll, a
Yeah.
little more androgynous, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gabriel's definitely where we're going with that.
Sophia versus Maureen.
Oh, Maureen all the way. Come on now. That like the whole worker girl, like, you see how hard she works when she has it on. Imagine how hot she looks when she takes it off. You want to take her home and figure it out. Sophia's a little flakier too, like in personality, being a psychic. She may be badass, but she's not like as real and practical and down to earth as Maureen. I'd say Maureen.
Wow, you
I'm
you sincerely changed my mind. I was going in at Sophia, but you're exactly right. Like Maureen's like the real deal. So like
Mhm,
like if you like a more masculine kind of chick, like that's what you get with Sophia. She's gonna have
mhm,
all the bad traits of that, like the pushes you around thing, but then
mhm,
she's gonna expect she wants it all.
mhm,
She's gonna push you around and be like kind of the leader when she can, but as soon as it's time for intimacy, she's gonna be like, "Ah, why can't you be the man and just like know what I want?" And like, you know what I mean? She
mhm,
she wants it
mhm.
all. That bitch. And
Totally.
so
It's too much, man.
yeah, exactly. So I'm going Maureen. Okay, Dr. Fred versus who the
Dr.
fuck is
Brain.
Brian? Oh, right.
Brain. Yeah. You always get those mixed up because I always follow your spelling in the game and you'd have no differentiation between the
Really
two words at
struggle.
all.
Yeah, at all. Right.
Anyway, you know what? Dr. Fred kills it because I find Dr. Brain a little sloppy.
Right.
And I think Dr. Fred would never allow himself to be presented as anything but completely meticulously professional.
Agreed. Plus, Dr. Brain is like more in the shadow of like
Hmm.
like Dr. Fred knows who he is, even
Hmm.
stylistically, whereas Dr. Brain's like, I'm kind of Einstein. I don't really have
Hmm.
an identity. So
Hmm.
yeah. Okay. Adrian, this is a good one. Adrian, this is sorry. Phantasmagoria. Adrian
Hmm.
versus Curtis.
Right. So, yeah, I'm going to have to say Curtis, man. He pulled it off with style. He looked good doing it, and he could rock a t shirt like nobody's business. Adrian, that sweatshirt was not hot, honey. No, it was fine. I mean, it was great and all, but it was not like, it wasn't a personality sweatshirt. It wasn't like, it was kind of like, it was something we came to associate with who you were. But I think Curtis had more swagger and personality to how he wore his clothes a little bit.
This is a tough one because I think Curtis's outfit played into it. Told you more about who Curtis was based on how he was
Hmm.
dressed.
Hmm.
It said more than you would think a gray shirt and black pants could actually say because it
It did.
really hit the nail on the head with like the meticulousness mixed with the nerdiness mixed with the order. Like it told you a lot about him. But
Hmm.
Adrian's, for better or worse, is kind of iconic. Like
Hmm.
everybody knows that orange ass sweater was hers. They went with
Hmm.
the weird coral, I bet you it had something to do with like the blue screens or whatever they were using. Like there had to
Hmm.
have been a choice because I don't think it was ever the best call for a blonde actress to have a coral. All right, whatever. I'm getting a little bitchy there, but the point is one is iconic, the other fits the character better. What do you go with?
Right. Yeah. I mean, Adrian, that is 100% iconic. You see that sweatshirt, you see that outfit put together, like, hey, I could dress like that for the con, actually.
Ah,
That'd be a
dude,
good
that would
one.
actually be really fun. Yeah.
Huh. Okay, that's an idea. I'm going to put that one on the table. That one takes mildly less effort than anything else I've thought of so far. And I like that.
What about the hair though? Does the hair have to be blonde?
I could wear a wig.
Oh, right. You do rock some wigs.
I do
And I
rock
rock
some
some
wigs.
wigs. Yeah.
I have, yeah. So
Okay, next one is that was me realizing how much more of this list is left. I
why
can't.
is there still more? I
It's
thought that was the last
insane.
question. Has anybody even stayed on? Has everybody even left? It's like now people have gone to work, gone home, and they're like, I guess we'll listen to the rest of the episode when we go to work
We're
tomorrow.
still talking, so
I
I
guess.
keep looking down, expecting there to be like 2 or 3 left, and there's just a
Mm-hmm.
lot left still. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's demotivating. Everybody,
Mm-hmm.
just hang in there. I know
It's
you're not
so
having
funny.
any fun at all, but we're gonna.
Nobody's had breakfast, okay? Just chill.
It's gonna be great. We're almost there. It's either gonna look. We'll stick around and find out. Wardrobe swap. Oh, okay, this sounds fun. I put an exclamation mark to reinvigorate future me, and it's
Ooh,
happening. This is that right now.
we
Wardrobe
needed it.
swap.
Yay!
Several snaps in thin air. Pick 2 characters from any 2 adventure games to Freaky Friday. Okay, that's
Ooh,
actually
I
pretty
just
fun.
watched that movie like 2 weeks ago, the original one with Jodie Foster, because I love that movie so
Jody.
much. Better than the one that they did later there with Lindsay Lohan.
I love that name.
Yeah.
Jody.
Jodie's great.
Jody.
Jodie's my hero. I love Jodie Foster. She's amazing.
I'm more like the name
Yeah.
than the
No, I like her
character.
tomboyedness.
Yeah, no, I got nothing against her. Honestly, I'm not sure I've seen her in anything but the one with the sheep.
What
So
about like Panic Room or something?
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing again? Oh, right, Freaky Friday.
Wardrobe swap.
Okay, so wardrobe swap that would.
I got one already. I
Okay, good.
want to swap out Laverne and Rosella because Laverne needs to tighten up a little bit and Rosella needs to loosen up a little bit.
Man, that's a good ass answer. Wow, I love the psychology behind it. You're exactly right. That's really good. Dang, I don't know what to do because I want to see Indiana Jones reimagined as like Gabriel Knight. I feel like
Ooh.
there's like a
Mm.
darker like rock and roll version of Indy out there that exists in
Right.
some.
Indiana Flones. No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
stupid. But
Like,
something
it's a
like
whip.
that.
Yeah, like we're
Yeah. Whip it good.
Oh, I didn't mean that pun. I'm so sorry, everyone. I meant work in progress. I never mean the pun.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, there's no getting those by Anna. Even something. I don't know what I was gonna say after that. Okay, but
Did something. I'm gonna put that on my gravestone when I die. I was something. But like an emphasis on the word something, like I was, and then in italics, something. That's it.
I like that. It's got a like I was not for everybody sort of vibe to it. I was not for everybody.
That's exactly me.
Oh my god. Okay, but to finish my thing, I don't care to see Gabriel Knight as Indiana.
Right.
There's nothing interesting there. So that's not
Mm-mm.
a satisfying Freaky Friday. And then
Right.
you could look at the more bonkers ones, but I don't have the mental energy for that. Like imagine this, how zany. Like
Mm.
um, what Sierra guy? Well, okay, what
You
about
could take Cedric's outfit and put it on Flux from Toonstruck, and then make Cedric naked.
okay? I think I'm
With like
just
a
gonna
bow
cash
tie.
out on that. You
Cash
know.
me outside. How about that?
Yeah, just trying to
Mhm.
just right. Like it's there. I might as well just. I don't see me having better. Maybe Ben and Gabriel, Ben in Indiana. That's just giving Indiana
Right.
a black jacket at that point. They both
Right.
have the satchel.
Switch out Kathy Rain's outfit with Laura Bow's outfit. Make Laura Bow look like a biker chick and make Kathy Rain wear dresses on her bike.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. I don't know why, but I like that
It's
because
like total
that
switch
biker
it up.
style would have fit in. Well, no, that'd be more the 50s. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It absolutely it doesn't matter. So.
Not at all.
We get to fall back on that. I'm trying to think if I could swap Roger with anybody, but it's weird with the whole future thing. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, this one was actually a bit of a challenge.
For you, for sure.
Wow, yeah, that's fair. Man, that was awesome. Okay. All right. Yep. Let's get on out of here. So, is there
Yeah.
anybody I want to put in Simon's robe? No, I wouldn't do that.
Hmm.
I wouldn't do that to anyone. In
You wouldn't
Alexander's
do that to
scarf.
them.
Is anybody else wearing a good scarf they could swap out with Alexander? A scarf. Scarf. That's a funny.
We could put Graham's hat, but on Dr. Brain,
Okay.
and now he's an adventuresome scientist.
And now he has, personality at all.
All right. How have you ever dressed like a character on purpose or took influence from one? I'd like to ask that of the audience because I'm sure neither of us have done that.
If you've ever juiced a fruit, wait, is that what you would say? If you've ever, you know what I mean, like squozen a fruit out of, a juice. If you ever, what's it called when you
Frozen.
juice a fruit? When you take a lemon and get the juice out of it.
Yeah, you juice it.
You
Yeah, you
juice it.
juice it.
Right. So I was
Yeah.
just gonna say I was picturing us on that last one, like throwing out the rind. Like there was no juice left
Oh,
in that freaking.
no,
I know. I'm sorry. It took
none.
me 5 minutes to explain what the fuck I was about to say, so I fucked it up. But whatever.
No, you
Like,
did good. It's good.
okay, have you ever dressed? Oh no, I have dressed like a character,
Oh,
right? I actually
okay.
have. Okay.
Right?
When I was a kid, I requested a rat tail because of Willie Beamish.
Nice.
I wanted, and I had one, and it was the worst.
Mhm.
This is the most
Mhm.
embarrassing of my pictures. That's not true. The most embarrassing of my pictures is like that 12 years old range where most boys get kind
Mhm.
of pudgy. Like
They do.
yeah,
All of them do.
it's really weird.
Mhm.
It's very
I've had 3 boys now. I saw all 3 of them go into it and go back out of it. I got one that's turning 14 soon, but now he's weight training, so he's jumped out of it pretty good.
yeah. It's like just before that growth spurt, and also there's like this yuck mouth because like we haven't
Mhm.
grown into our teeth yet. Still, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? There's like
too much.
like the teeth are still kind of big and weird and not fitting in there right, and yeah, 12
Mhm.
is rough.
Mouthful of teeth. Yeah.
I mean, probably for both genders, but it's really you know. But I noticed the weight thing with boys more is what I'm trying to say there for
Yeah.
no reason. Then I got scared because I used the G word. I don't know how to talk about that stuff. So anyway, have you ever? Yeah, I wanted a rat tail because Willie Beamish had one, and once I grew up and really furtherly looked at it, I'm like, he didn't really have a rat tail, like, but it was more like long hair styled that way. So I was like, I
Mhm.
don't even. But again, I was like 9, so
Yeah.
and for some reason my parents listened to me. But yeah,
Nice.
and you know what? I think that's one of my strongest rites of passage as far as being an adventure game nerd. Like I really did
Mhm.
love this shit so much that I had Willie Beamish's haircut as opposed to like popular Saturday morning cartoons haircut or whatever.
Right.
Like Willie was my Bart. I was like, I want to be like Willie.
Mhm.
And spoiler, I became
Yeah.
Willie himself right now.
You did. And your frog is named Horny, of
Yes.
course. And remember when he won the jumping contest?
Oh my
I
god,
was so proud of you guys. But
that was a good Tuesday.
you purposely eat like stuff like cereal made out of like worms and spaghetti, I mean, made out of worms. And I've always been a bit concerned because I think psychotically you're sort of working yourself up every time you do it.
Well, I don't eat meat, so I need my protein. So
That's
it's all
fair.
about and that's partially not true. I do eat chicken. I don't eat mammals, and it's not because I'm pretentious. It's because I used to have cows, and they were so cool. I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And one of them, I named them. That was the problem.
That is what happens. You personalize them as soon as you name them.
And
Yeah.
note to self, this is for future me. I'm going to just say it for everybody to hear and not edit it. I need to make a quick edit to the game because in the game there's a line about having a cow named Willie Nelson because that was my cow's name. But I forget that of course everyone's going to think of the singer because that's what my cow was named after. But it makes the whole
Right.
thing needlessly confusing and ruins that line.
Ah,
So
yeah. Because you're
now,
like, what are you trying to say? Willie Nelson's a cow, or
yeah,
that he
like
gives milk? Come
right,
on now.
right. What
Mhm.
is this reference? What are we doing here? And yeah,
Mhm.
okay. So now I won't forget probably. Um, are we done? We're done there. We're
We're
not.
done there, but now we need to know like who is the most underdressed character for their environment or role. That's like every female in Police Quest and in Leisure Suit Larry.
Huh. Okay. Well, because in Leisure Suit Larry, I would almost say appropriately dressed, just because
Mhm.
they're like in
Oh,
casinos.
I was
And like,
thinking of the weather, like they'd be cold, underdressed.
oh, right. Okay. Right. Yeah. That's some actual woman shit right there. Like speaking for like, yeah. Right. That's fair. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't. What is even this question immediately? What is the most underdressed? Okay. So anybody dressed inappropriately that walks in and you're just like, my guy, what are you doing? I don't have an answer for this one. And like underdressed. Like Guybrush before he gets the blue coat, he looks like he's missing something.
Right.
That's not in the spirit of the question though, right? Like I don't think anyone is. They're all who wrote these questions?
Who wrote these questions? What's going on here?
What an idiot. I mean, Hoagie is wildly underdressed considering the time period that he gets forced into, but he
Mhm.
couldn't have known that. Alexander is really overdressed
Right.
for having gotten washed up on a shore anyway.
That is true.
Okay, we're good here. So, are you good here? Are we good here?
Environment overdressed. Yeah, that was. Oh my God, there was more. I thought the end of this page. I thought that was the last
Oh yeah,
one.
no, there
What
is.
happened? That's more than 10. What the? No, that's good. We're good.
Mm,
Everybody's good. Nobody wants any more. Tell me I'm wrong, people.
yeah, no, that is the sound of silence.
Let's pick one. Let's pick one of these just to like not. Yeah, let's just
Because
pick
it
one.
could get painful. Okay, so who's the most overdressed? We don't need that one.
No.
Uh, who a closet raid? Whose wardrobe are you hijacking? I
We
mean
kind
that
of talked about that, like who we would dress up as for a month, stuff
right.
like that.
Yeah, it sounds recycled. Okay, which character's clothing is the most result? I don't. Whatever, not that one. Weirdest outfit. Like it's a long sentence. We're not doing that.
Mm-mm.
The weird. Okay, here we go. The weirdest outfit. And no, wait, the next one.
Okay.
Because that's probably Simon. It's just a weird. That robe is. I don't like Simon's outfit. The most fashion forward hero and who's the best dressed hero? That could be the one.
The best dressed hero. Well, the hero in Quest for Glory, of
Ah,
course.
Jesus
You
Christ.
knew I was going to end on that. He's got the hero clothing on.
It's in the name.
It's in the name. It's right freaking there. Even in the VGA remake. And he's gone more of like olives and reds and other colors. But he still looks like a hero man.
Who
And
in
in fact, later Toro calls him that hero man. Hero men have work to do.
I'll eventually remember that. I'll be able to say I remember that because
Yeah.
I'll have
Oh,
remembered
Toro. What a good guy.
it.
Yeah.
Adoro. What about the most iconic dressed? Like not Robin Hood as in a as a result of their time, but like which of these characters do you think had any sort of fashion sense? Like they put their outfit together and it looked good.
Ooh, and they actually put time and thought into it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause so
Hmm.
it's immediately not Roger, because that's a uniform. No uniforms, no Guybrush, because that's stereotypes. No Ben, no like looking like a role, but more like
Hmm.
they're like, damn, I look good, and they rolled with that.
Well, that's Gabriel Knight has the confidence to feel that every day when he gets up.
There's no way that jacket is an accident, right? It doesn't
No,
just
not at all. There's no way. He's very, very intentional. And I believe Gabriel Knight has a more fragile self esteem than he lets off.
right. Yeah, no, he cries.
Hmm.
There's more beneath the surface. Yeah, he's a pretty good pick. I mean, again, Leisure Suit Larry is named after the suit he's wearing, but I feel like he's wearing that because he thinks it's cool, and then the joke is that it's no longer cool. So it's not, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? He's not like, I like leisure suits. He's like, I think this will get me laid. So that
Hmm.
doesn't, I don't feel like that can count.
Hmm.
Whatever Graham's doing in 5, I mean, that's a statement. He's like, with
Yeah.
the teal leggings, bright red shirt. Hey, like he's very,
Hey.
yeah, he's like, let's get noticed, It's fucking.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, I'm going with Graham in 5. You going with Gabriel?
Yeah.
Thank God. That means we're done. Hold on, real quick, super quick one. You're a fashion critic. Respond to Sunny Bonds in street clothes.
He looks pretty everyman, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, no, in street, yeah, exactly. Just L.
Yeah.
There it is.
Very nicely done.
Oh my god, it's been 2 hours. Let's quickly get through the outro because it seems like people listen to the outro, which is weird. But you're noticing that too, right?
It is kind of weird. I didn't expect it, that's for sure. I mean, I didn't even expect people would get this far into any of our episodes. I thought there was like a line where people stopped listening somewhere within the first 20 minutes.
Right.
So
maybe that's the every other week thing. It's like you could just next time you could finish. Okay, we're doing that thing. Quick, everybody, thanks for whatever.
I have words. It's okay. So, hey, I want to take a minute to say thank you to our Patreon subscribers. You guys continue to make this podcast possible and for us not to have to take everything out of our own pockets to make it happen.
Everything.
Because, we're not here to get rich. We're here because we just, gosh darn, love talking about these games and love sharing our opinions with all of you. And even after all these hundreds and thousands of hours, we still want to keep doing it. And this is a little bit of the motivation. So thank you as well to some of our top Patreon pledge people up in the upper tiers, however they've decided to call it. But I'm going to call it the, hey, you guys rock tier for now. And Gareth, you're sitting there in there, and I appreciate you. And Michael Council and Jay Holmes, Brian Manow, Jeffrey Couch, Mark Fillion, and Tim Ellis. All of you are in the tier where we like to say, hey, you guys rock, and we really appreciate you a lot. And everybody else that's in there, we appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you've been enjoying the early episode. And that it gives you something a little bit to look forward to, makes you a little bit happy. And you're like, I get it before everybody else. A reason to hang on and just keep just plugging away and doing your shit. And outside of that, you know what? Come say hi to us on Twitter at CGG Podcast or Phantom Fellows. You can also look up the game, The Phantom Fellows, on thephantomfellows.com. Send us your words. Mail at theclassicgamersguild.com is our email. You can join us on Facebook. We're a page, we're a group. We're also on Instagram and YouTube as CGG Podcast, on all of the above. Thank you so much for listening.
Don't do a murder!
I did. I have to pee.
Ah, nuts.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay, good luck.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, she's gonna do fine.